What's up? You're with me today again. Thank you for coming with me. We're going to be going on our regular thing called All Aboard Wisdom. So think of it as boarding a train. We're going to hop on the train together. We're going to take one heck of a fun ride together. See, learning can be very boring. I'm being honest with you. I'm speaking for myself. For me to learn anything, you've got to kind of entertain me. You got to kind of do something, not dressed in a clown suit, but you got to really entertain me. I've been like that my whole life. So for me to learn, there has to be something visual. You have to kind of even light and keep it light with me because too serious to me. I mean, I could like fall asleep and have a snooze zone moment. So these podcasts that I've created for you, and I am a life coach. I've been doing it for 30 some years. I've had my own talk, radio, and TV spots where people call the shows and call in and be online with me. They only had me for like 1 minute online. You're going to have me for the duration of each podcast talking on different topics. And it's stuff that's vital for 2026, So I don't care what age you are, you just happen to stumble across it, you went looking for it. All Aboard Wisdom with Roxy M. Carter. I guarantee you, no matter what your age, you're going to learn something. And the younger you learn it, the more years you get to be smarter and practice it. So, but there's no point where you don't ever say, oh, I'm too old for this. Oh, I've been letting this stuff go for so many years. It don't matter. Shame on you. Shame on you, because there is never a time that once you learn something, you're supposed to act on it. Don't just have the knowledge up here in your head. I want you to act on it. And I want you to start changing how you live. And I want you to change your reaction to people who are the topics that we're going to be talking about. Because I'm doing a lot of things, and it's really healthy to expose certain types of individuals so it takes away their power. It's like taking the mask off somebody. Halloween, and you have somebody comes to your door and, oh, I'm the Incredible Hulk, or I'm this or that. And you just take the mask off, and there's this little kid underneath it. And okay, it's like they've been exposed. It takes away all the drama, all the power. So what I do in my podcast, when I do get on topics, I'm going to have on spiritual. I'm going to have on all kind of God, Zen. I'm going to have on everything, psychological stuff. I'm going to have on topics and chakras. And oh my gosh, I got so many variety. But I wanted to start them off with some of the things that are causing us problems, which are the people, them peeps. And today we're going to have a topic on bossy people. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you might be in trouble if you're one of them bossy pant people, but you might want to figure out, or you might want to learn why you are, because, they aren't really just totally born. Something happens that causes them to be bossy. They do have a gene. It does run in family, like little Hitlers. You know what I'm trying to say? Hi Hitler, hi Hitler. They want to be saluted. But on the other hand, we're going to be looking at what to do with one if you have one. And it could be your mate, God forbid, when you have like a bossy mate. What do you do when you have a bossy kid? They really have it backwards, like who's on first. It's like you're going to be telling me, you talking to me, you're going to tell me what to do, and I'm the parent. Also, bosses that are overboss, they overboss. Or how about coworkers? They think they're the boss. Or, it has friends. You go out, the two of you are in a group. My God, they are the boss. These people got to be, you got to kind of like put them in their place. And I'm going to show you some things so you're aware of it. Don't just sit there, because every time you let a bossy person get away with that behavior, it's your fault. Your fault. You're making them stronger and getting more so at what they're doing because they think they have free sledding. They can say and do whatever they want, la, 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 and that's too bad. Well, we're going to take them down a different route today, because Roxy on All Aboard Wisdom with Roxy M. Carter, and I am a life coach. I'm going to show you what works, and you get a little bit of a lowdown on them. So we're going to be pulling their masks off today. Don't that sound like fun? I think so. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on. I call them my cheaters. This is my cheat sheet. I say this all the time. I don't need notes. I would usually do 2 and 3 hour seminars without even notes. I'm using them because I need to stay on track, and it's so easy for me to go out off on this direction and that direction. And, podcasts aren't going to be like 3 hours long. You'd be, you know what I'm saying? You get saddle sore sitting there listening to them. So I want you to just pay attention. These are the bullet points of some stuff, and it's vital, but it's going to be about bossy people. I want you to think of them as little Hitler. Remember Adolf? Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! I swear, and I say, you can love somebody, but you have to call it what it is. My mother was, I call it mini Hitler. My mother was she was Hitleretta. If there's Hitler and then a woman may call her Hitleretta, I just made that up for her. I used to call her that all the time. And then she one day caught me referring to her. She says, "Who are we talking about?" And she goes, "Oh, you weren't talking about me." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I was." And I remember my little joke was, "Hey, Mama," as she got older and I was older, I figured she couldn't swat me anymore, like hit me, in the head. I asked her if she had swastikas, put on her upper arms because, I mean, she was like Heil Hitler. She was the final word on everything. And me and my dad, we were like shaking in our boots when she'd talk. It was like thunder. So, again, because I was raised with little Hitleretta or little Hitler, I decided I was not going to be a bossy pants because I found it repulsive. Oddly enough, whatever is in the nest, this is something you're going to hear me talk about in many of different podcasts. What was in your nest, meaning your home where you came from? If you had a real obsessively bossy parent and it was really predominant, sometimes when you go out and you get your first big relationship or in your first marriage, you marry somebody just like that. So, and I did. I mean, I'm not going to mention names or hold up a picture of them or anything else. I don't even keep pictures of them anymore. But in my first marriage, oh yeah, it was like little Hitler 1 and big Hitler 2. I mean, there was so little difference between the two. It was just their name, and one was a man and one was a woman. So, we start to, when you make your mind up that you're not going to be a Hitler, but many times if you've had one in your life, these very overbearing, I'm always right, you will follow what I say to the letter or else. I don't know what it is. Something happens to us as kids in the head and growing up that we feel comfortable with them, or we even think, they really don't mean it. Oh yeah, bossy people mean it. Those little Hitlers, they really do mean it. So, or Hitlerettas or whatever. So let's go delve into this. I'm dying to talk on this one because I've always had a lot to say and I have a lot to say. So let's see here what we had to say. Usually when they were children, they had somebody that had too much authority over them. They themselves had somebody who was very rigid, very rigid. I'm going to use the word, it's not a bad word, anal retentive. They had an anal retentive parent over them, and they became, as they got older, then they became anal retentive. So they became like that, over authoritative. I have seen it, son of a gun, that when there are parents with no rules, no regulations, no rules, no regulations over the kids. They just like roll over and play dead for their kids. I don't know what that is. They call themselves a parent. It's not a parent. You're a parent. You better know how to say yes, no, maybe, wait. You're supposed to be teaching them. But these parents who let the kids roll over them and anything's okay, these kids know there's something wrong. You're supposed to have some kind of rules and regulations, and they themselves turn out to be a real control freak and bossy because they realized they messed up, or it would have been more beneficial to them if somebody was in charge instead of nobody in charge. So those are the two reasons that you do have people who are these bossaholics. That's a good word for them because they really are. There are also people who are told they're stupid. When they were growing up or in life, they either were told, you're really stupid. I could just slap a parent when they use the word, you're stupid. What's wrong with you? Are you stupid? You don't get to call your name, kids. You can't name call your children. They have a name, whatever it is, Bob, Mary, Lulu, Dick, Jane, whatever, Toto, but you do not call them names. And you just can't say whatever you think. You're stupid. And I have seen even teachers say, come on, why are you acting stupid? Are you stupid? Okay, so that is a word needs to be taken off the books. But there are some people who have become very bossy and know-it-all, bossy, obnoxious human beings, because they had no authority, or they had too much authority, extremes again. But somebody called them stupid. Also, the word dummy, you dummy. Now, my mother was one that was calling my dad a dummy. You dummy. And it was ridiculous. And the man wouldn't even say anything back because he thought, if she's calling me dummy, if I say anything, what else is she going to say? So he didn't say anything, so she would stop just at the word dummy. You know what I mean? And she actually, did that to me too. But because I saw and I found that a very obnoxious quality, and my dad and I are very much the same. We have always been the same. Peace at any price. Now I don't have peace at any price. He stayed that way. It was an older generation. Me, I have peace, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're not going to get away with that no more. But at that point, the bossy people love people who want peace at any price because they know they can keep going. And every time you allow them to go on and wear, the iron helmet on their head, and they're just, I'm always right, and this and that. You're creating a monster. You're creating a monster by allowing it. You need to even point them and say, hey, enough. You want to see them freak out when you tell a bossy person enough. They don't want to be cut off. They're like a glutton. They want to shove their ability to, just fire words and boss. Nobody ever stands up to them. But I will tell you straight up that every time you let one get away with it, or if you don't want to fight or argue and you really are done with the relationship, I just want you to know, you can say, I really have found you very obnoxious and repulsive, and we won't be getting together anymore, or we're done with this dance, or we won't be doing this no more. And then no matter if they cry or beg because they don't ever want to be left, they want to be in control, just never answer your phone, a text, and just, let somebody else, deal with this. But for whatever that's worth, those were some of the reasons they actually were put down as kids. They actually sometimes many of the bossy ones felt invisible in a classroom, in a family. They were the one in the family who felt invisible, or they felt insecure. That was their thing, insecure. Or it could have been the parents made a misjudgment by making everything about one kid in the family. That's the star, the grand puma of the family, and the other one felt like nothing. So, and they get older, then they want to become the bossy one because that gets them attention. They're usually the people who start at the bottom and they work their way up to the top, and then they're hell on wheels once they become the boss, because now I am the boss. They will actually have it in their mind every day that they go into work. These bossy types, even if it don't come out till a little bit later in life, or when they start working, they will every low job they take, or every low ball position climbing the ladder, they are so full of resentment that by the time they get to the top, they're horrible. They're the worst bosses you've ever met. And they're the ones who love to tell the story. I started at the bottom. Oh, I clawed my way up. You don't know what I went through. Well, again, that really, obviously, it took a real big toll on them because, yeah. So anyway, the one thing about bossy people, they're not quiet. Bossy people are loud. Now, I don't know. I'm Greek. I love to say I'm Greek. You can probably hear me bringing up I'm Greek on every episode. I'm Greek. I'm a second gen. My dad was the first generation. Second, I'm the third generation. Yeah, I eat it. I cook it. I dance it. I listen to Greek music. The whole thing. I even put my kids through Greek school, and they learned how to do all the Greek dances. Yada yada. So don't let this hair, because it's light color, fool you. It used to be really dark, and I look very Greek. And if you look really close, I got them big brown eyes, which means, hey, I'm Greek, and I have olive skin. So anyway, you learn something about me. But the thing is here, what I want to say is Greeks are known, oh, they're loud. No, loud. We're not loud. We're just having a good time. See, we're having a good time. We're joyous people. Bossy people are not joyous. They are not joyous. They're angry. They're mad. They're Madge in charge of everything. And they're very rigid. That's another thing. They are so rigid that if you try to change any rule, any regulation, you move anything, even an inch, you move anything, they're ready to rip your face off. That is not where that goes. That is not how it is. You cannot be late. You cannot do this. You cannot. They got a rule for everything. It's like somebody put a plastic bag. It's asphyxiating to be around these people. Everything with these bossy people comes with a rule and a regulation. Now, if you live with one, you're going to have to probably keep tuning into these podcasts, because I'm going to give you a lot of tips and things on how to do things. You can also, get in and get life readings with me, which I've been doing 33 years, because I do love them, and I love them because I watch people get better all the time, and then they don't put up with the horse manure anymore from people. But I'm talking about the bossy people. So the other thing is about them, they are going to go through life, and here's what's going to happen to them. If you're a bossy person, this is what's going to happen to you. Um, if you got one in your life, if this is any solace to you, if this makes you feel any better, this is what's going to happen to that horrible bossy pants. Okay. So you call it karma, you call it whatever, but I got a list of actually what happens to them. I think it's kind of funny because I mean, sometimes there's nothing we can do. We could like try to chloroform them, lock them in lock them in the basement or something. They find a way to get out. I don't know. They'll tear the wall down. They're just aggressive, these bossy ones. But they're going to be hated. People really hate them. People want to avoid them. When they see them coming, they really try to actually pretend they don't see them. They'll go down a different aisle in a store. If you're married to one, you got to meet them in the kitchen. You try to figure out how, when they're in the kitchen, you're not in the kitchen because you're afraid they're going to tell you how to boss it around, how you should do this, how you should do that. Did you this? And they always start every conversation, these bossy ones. Did you? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you? I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, if you really think about how messed up these individuals really are, they have no life. They have no life. All they do is wear big magnifying glasses, trying to find out what's wrong with everybody else so they could be the boss and tell everybody else, what's wrong with them. There is so much wrong with the bossy person. I want you to know something. They are one of the most dented human beings. They are dented. They got so many internal dents. They are so dented up, it's not even funny. And I think many of them become bosses or they become bossy. So people have no time to look at all the mistakes and the dents in them. They are so dented. They're like chicken pox. When a person has chicken pox and they get all the dents, they're covered in dents, but they keep you so busy because, did you do this? Did you? Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. That's what you did you? I mean, here's one thing. Here's the thing you're going to know. They're going to be hated. If that is any solace to you, they're going to be hated. People are going to start to avoid them. And you know what? They are disliked. And you know what? There's none of them that don't notice. They do notice that people really don't like them. They don't like it. And you know what their favorite thing is? I don't care. I have never seen a bossy, obnoxious type that is full-blown bossy. And you say, nobody's going to like you. You know what they go? I don't care. I don't care. They actually stick their big chin out. I don't care. I don't care. They care, but they can't do a thing about it because they're so dented and so messed up inside that the only thing that they are good at is controlling and being bossy. They have no talent. I mean, they probably couldn't draw a stick person. They probably couldn't sing a note on key, but boy, can they boss, okay? They've mastered a few things that they can do, and they're going to really run the universe with this stuff. The other thing is, so I wrote right here, they are going to be hated, they are going to be disliked, and they already know people don't like them, and their first thing is, I don't care. Then the thing is, I don't need friends. Honey, the truth is they don't have friends. What? No, they have people who know them, they have acquaintances. Nobody is their friend. I mean, come on now. Who really is going to want to hang out with somebody? Did you this? Did you? Oh, did you? Oh, I'm in charge. I'm the boss. You know what? It's going to get sickening. People would rather be by themselves. They'd rather, stick their head in a rabbit hole than have to be around that. So they really don't have friends. They are disliked. They know people really don't like them. And the thing is, the truth is they really don't even like themselves. But again, this is it. I told you I call them little Hitlers. The other thing about them, they're very cool, cold, aloof people. Not any of the bossy people are warm. If they ever act warm for a minute, let me tell you, it's just an act. They are very cold. They have very little feelings. They don't feel. They don't have any. They look at everything. I use the term a lot, like looking into the eyes of a shark. They don't feel much. They don't have any friends. They don't have anybody really likes them. All they have is a job title, or they get that little badge says boss, I'm in charge. And God forbid if they were somebody that was a janitor cleaning a bathroom, and I love janitors. I mean, I think where would we be without them? But they have to give themselves some big fancy title and wear some kind of a crown on their head, like a sanitary engineer or whatever they want to call it. They have to jack up their title all the time instead of just doing their job and doing it well. They have to have a title and all the thing. But remember one thing though. I want to go back to this. They're very cold. They're very aloof. They're very arrogant, and nobody really likes them. They don't like themselves. Most of them when they're done with their work and their job and they're at the end of their day, they have to go off by themselves. It's not like, I like to be alone. I like to be by myself. No, they don't like to be alone and by themselves. Nobody wants to be with them, so they've had to get used to being by themselves. That's the bottom line. Here's some other things about them. Now, not only are they bossy, This is very interesting, whether they know it or not. And I'm going to point it out. So if you're one of these people or you live with one, please, you don't have to get in trouble. Just put them down, tie them to a chair, and make sure they listen to this podcast. Because this here is some pretty interesting stuff. Besides being bossy, here's another thing. They're very belittling. They don't think they're belittling. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. They're frickin' belittling. They talk to you like you're an idiot. They talk to you like you're a dummy. They are belittling. They talk down to people. And that's the only way. Every time they get away with it, it makes them feel stronger or more power, and they sit up stronger and higher in their chair. They're also very sarcastic. The sarcasm, there is no such a thing as a bossy person who is not all these things. They're belittling, they're arrogant, they're cold, they're aloof, they're sarcastic, and you know what? Boy, do they got a sharp tongue on them. When you or anybody takes them on or dare says anything about them or how imperfect or anything they are, you know what they do? Boy, do they fight back. Their tongue has been sharpened. Bossy people have the sharpest tongues. You think they own a tongue sharpener, like a pencil sharpener. Remember, we're kids in school, you get up and grind the pencil? They have the sharpest tongues, and they fight with their tongue all the time because that's all they really have. And they always say, I don't care. I don't care. They do care, but you know what? Nobody likes them. They have a history of being loners. Bossy people don't have friends. Here's the thing I want you to remember. They're the person that for whatever reason, insecurities or whatever it is, they climb the totem pole. They climbed it, and when they're up there, now they are the top one at the top of the totem pole, but it's very lonely at the top. And all they get to do is look at other people down there having fun, look at other people laughing, look at other people having family, look at other people enjoying life, look at other people, and they're up there in their little top of the totem pole looking down, and they're all by themselves. And if you let them in a room, let's just say that you do allow them, you invite them to things, you let them in a room, or you include them into things, they are always feeling empty and lonesome in the room. They feel alone. If you put them in a room with 100 people, they feel alone because really they don't like themselves. They have nothing really to offer except all their bossy advice and all that stuff they've done. The other thing is, getting to wind this down, here's a role you have to do. You got to quit excusing them. Could you please, for the love of God, quit excusing them? Well, you don't know. You know their childhood. Well, you don't understand what they went through. Well, whatever. You know what? These people count on you making excuses for them. You know what? They really do. And they really don't feel very much. If you really talk to them, they have very little empathy for other people. Everybody's bothering them. Everybody's irritating them. That's not my job. That's somebody else's job. I don't want to be bothered with this. And you know what? They don't listen to people. They don't listen to people because they don't care about other people. You ever notice that the bossy ones that climb the ladder, or the real bossy ones, they're always locking themselves off. They want to work alone. They want to be in their own cubicle by themselves. They want to shut the door. If you ever look at them, they say, what are you doing there? I'm thinking. I don't mind being alone. Honey, they don't mind being alone. Nobody wants to be with them. And what they think about, they're not thinking about people. They're not thinking about being a nicer person. They're not thinking about anybody's needs. You know what they're in there? They're just thinking, and they're thinking about what else and who they can control, what new head game they can come up with and what they can control, and what other next thing they can say that's insulting or belittling to make them feel very important. They do not feel important. You can be a boss and be a very healthy boss and a good boss, and you don't have any of those qualities. But the bossy ones, the loud ones, and one thing also you'll notice, they're always pointing. Boy, I can see body language. I love to go into big rooms and I can find the bossy ones really quick. They talk. They're always pointing with that finger. And the other one, they put their hands on their hips. When you see people walking around with their hands on their hips, you know those people where they do this, they fold their arms in front of them like they think they're a gin genie. They got their arms folded in front of them. They got their hands on their hip, or they got that finger. I'll be honest with you. If you're not dating them yet, if you're not married, you've only been on a couple dates, you're not married, or to them, or if you really, you don't really need the job, when you see those kind of things, you don't need that, because they're going to be up your behind with a telescope, trying to find something wrong with you. Because every time the bossy people find something wrong with you, it goes right to their head. See why I'm superior and why I'm the boss? I'm the boss because I'm not like the rest of you. So play from this point on. Don't work with them. Don't marry them. Don't date them. And can you imagine? And I will tell you one thing, and this is very important because I had a really excessive one time. He was horrible boss. Many of them will actually pay you extra money. They will pay you more money if you will give you perks. I mean, all kind of perks, whatever. They will anything. They will buy you to keep you working for them. But they will pay so they can insult you. They will pay so they can give you ulcers. They will pay to keep you with them. They will pay. And when they notice they're losing you, they usually come up with something to hold you. It's like it's nothing more than putting a worm on a hook and they're trying to keep you. Because if you'll stay with them and you're a likable, nice, warm person, what they're using you, the bossy people, the horrible people like this, the control freak bosses are using you because if you're still staying there with them, they mustn't be that bad, right? So you're the poster child for they're going to treat you, they're going to buy you extra things, they're going to do all these little things, favors, all these things for you. They're kissing your fanny so they won't be alone because if you left, then they, well, all the nice people are leaving. So just remember, you don't make excuses for them no more and you call them on it. When you call them, they're going to get really loud. They're going to get very angry. Their hands are going to go on their hip. They're going to fold their arms in front of them. They're going to start pointing. And you know what? You need to say to them, hey, you know what? We're done. We're done. And don't take time to look in their eyes to see how they liked it. Who gives a rat's hiney how they liked it? We're done. Because when it came to you, I'm going to tell you what they used to say to you. I'm out of here. I'm done. Conversation over. I'm out of here. I'm done. Time to turn the table on these people and really be done with them. You know what? Go replace them with nice people. There's so many good people out here in the world. And I want you, because you're worthy of it, don't just stay with the type of people because you're used to it. If you like today's podcast, you learned some good stuff, hit share. I'd love you to hit share. Also, hit that you want to be part of it. Write answers. Start in the comment part. Write some things, comments of how you felt about the show. If I taught you something, if you've been one of my clients in the past over the last 30 years, there's thousands of you. Let them write those comments so we could hear it and let people know that life coaching really works. It changes the dynamics and you don't let people get away with anything. And boy, do you start feeling good about you. God bless. Have a great day. Namaste.